everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I'm Yushan, a filmmaker based in Southern California. Last week I uploaded a short horror movie called Don't Turn Back. If you haven't watched it, please go watch it here. Today I invite my crew to talk about the making of Don't Turn Back. How about first you guys introduce yourself?
Alright, I am Yonathan. I was the DP on Don't Turn Back. And yeah, that is probably all about me.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, I'm Yolanda, and I was the actress in Don't Turn Back.
Cool.
That's all about me. That's it.
So how we're gonna do this, we're gonna ask each other the questions. We come up some questions and we don't know the question each person gonna ask another person, and this is how we're gonna do it today. So who start?
I guess I'll start.
Okay.
Okay, Jonathan, I have a question for you.
Alright.
Okay, what did you start basic? So what did you find most difficult in shooting the project and why?
I think that the hardest part of shooting anything, not all the time, but a lot of times, is time management.
Oh, okay.
And I think that's kind of like from just like the whole production point of view, not only as a DP, but I feel like that's kind of usually what it comes down to for a lot of people is the time management.
Yep.
To be able to fit everything in the time that you want, and I feel like that can be tough. And I feel like on Don't Turn Back, because Yushan was live streaming, a lot of people know that it was a long shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Like 6 or 18 hours?
It was 16 hours.
I stopped
Yeah.
counting.
It was 16 hours.
Yeah. After
Long.
like 12 p.m. we don't even think about time anymore.
No, I was, that was tough after 12 o'clock. It was tough
Yeah.
for me. Yeah.
Usually in professionally you're only allowed to shoot 12 hours, right? But we are not like a union set, we're not pay each other. So there's like no labor law we're breaking. We just have to power through it because we're gonna go back to work the next day. So, yeah.
Yeah, and so many details too that, and just if anybody who doesn't know about behind the scenes, there's so much detail to be set up just to do a shot.
Yeah. Usually I'm pretty like if I work on first assistant director, that time management is first assistant director's job. If I work as that position, I'm really good at it. When I do that, I talk to the DP, talk to the director, and kind of know their style, and then know how long the DP gonna set up the shot, how the production department, how long they need to set up everything. And for the director, I will ask like in this scene, which shots is the most important for you, and how you're gonna edit it. And then I can some just pass, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I will literally have every shot give how long, and I will just forbidden the director to take more.
Yeah.
However, when I'm the director,
Yeah.
it's hard.
Yeah.
I can't think that. I can't just focus on the time management on that when I direct, because when you direct, you are so diving the performance and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question, I guess.
Before I'll just adjust this camera a little bit.
He's thinking the whole time we're talking. He's thinking, the camera. Okay.
And I guess. All right. I will ask Yushan.
Yes.
Yushan, do you have a personal experience with ghosts?
I had a similar question, so I'm glad you tackled that one. Okay, good.
Me personally, though, I never able to say ghost, unfortunately. But people around me does, and our building is like a building 1920s, like over 100 years, and it was a hotel for some film stars when they come to this area, and they will stay in this hotel. Now it remodeled into apartment, and before I moved into my apartment, there was a lady died here. I didn't know that until one day our neighbors have like a party together. For fun, I just like kind of like found a topic to chat with everybody. I was like, oh, our building is so old. Do you guys think, would it be possible there's some like, supernatural things? And everybody on the party just suddenly freeze. Stop talking and all turn look at me like, did you see anything? I was like, what? I didn't expecting that. And then everybody told me like, oh, there's an old lady dead in your apartment. And people, sometimes they will see like this flowy old lady wearing a wet gown, and be floating around your apartment door. And the apartment manager, he recorded on the security cam. Yeah. And after that, I believed it, but before that, I never had the experience. So me personally, never able to feel anything. I don't know if they're lucky or not lucky. Yeah. Okay, I'll ask you a question.
Oh.
At the end of our shooting, because it was like 16 hours, and I saw you super tired, and you're super sleepy, but when you perform, you have to give that emotion. You can't look like sleepy. Right. So how are you able to handle that?
You mean I handled it? Because I told you guys at 2 in the morning I'm fading really fast.
Yeah. I
had to push through. I mean, I told myself, you know what? I can't let that affect me because it's gonna look bad on camera. So I just told myself just push and just do it. And I remember you told me, you were saying, come on, Yolanda, come on, you can do it. The scene in the short film where I'm walking down the hallway was filmed around 5 a.m. And I take some medicine, and the side effects of those medicines are major drowsiness. So I was really fighting that.
Yeah, but, I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, I was really fighting that. But anyway, you just have to push through because, when people are doing big films and stuff,
But
they have to.
What's funny is like you can't tell that on camera. And I think it's very interesting when I look at the footage. At first, I couldn't tell you like super sleepy. And second, I feel that mode actually really relaxed you. To be in like...
Really?
Yeah.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah, it's really relaxed you not able to think of other things.
Oh.
Because like on the camera, when the actor acting, if you're not in the moment, your minds go everywhere, or you aware yourself is acting, it's very hard. But that actually, I think, helped you to be in the mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, again, as long as it looked good on camera and people could find it, I'm fine. You just have to, put aside all your stuff and just do it.
Yeah, go look at it.
Yeah.
Look at the thing. The whole hallway thing we shot in 5 a.m. and she was like out of it.
I was out. So.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay. So the next question. Thanks for that question. Okay, so this is a technical question for Yonathan. Going back to that, lenses. When you're using certain lenses, speaking of lenses, my glasses, I can feel it, there's a lens there. Speaking of lenses, are there any certain angles or certain lenses that you use that make the genre of horror scarier? It's like that actually can go to both of you because you guys are directing using the angles, but what angles or what things do you use technically to create that feeling of horror?
When it comes to lenses, because there's lenses and then there's angles.
Okay.
So like when when it comes to lenses, I'd say you can amplify horror on both kind of spectrums of those being super wide and super narrow. You can achieve a lot with a super wide lens if you use it well in the space that you're in to like make it distorted in a way that you want.
Distorted, okay.
Yeah, you mean like a wide lens but on close up. So you distort. Like the one we used on you was like when you go down on the floor and looking for
I
the
noticed
lighter.
that it was more kind of a fish lens. Is that
It's
accurate
not
to say?
fish
Not a
lens.
fish lens, but
It's
it made it
wider.
look more round. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Okay.
wider.
Yeah.
It wasn't that wide. It's slightly wider.
Yeah.
What's the lens?
That one was a 16 millimeter. So yeah, it's wide, but yeah, it does. It basically does open up a lot more space, and it's more kind of like it's close to. In horror, it can be kind of like very like you're in a tight space, but at the same time you feel the space around.
I see. That makes sense.
Yeah. And when it comes to angles, me and Yushan were discussing certain angles that we wanted prior to the shoot when it comes to certain shots, like the shot her in the backyard, like a close up on her eyes.
Oh yes. Okay.
Or also the angle on you opening the door. It was kind of like a
This is a
Yeah.
filmmaker's hand.
Oh wait, I learned this from you guys. The cowboy shot is what's it called? Cowboy shot. Yeah. And real quick, let me just elaborate on that. Somebody that watched the film made a comment, and they said that they liked the Shining hallway scene. And I'm like, the Shining hallway scene. Do you understand what they're saying? You know, from the movie from The Shining, and it kind of reminded them of a shot from The Shining. And so I reviewed that footage. I'm like, how? What made it that way? Do you know what they're talking about? Or
I'm not sure. I actually haven't seen the comments, but
okay.
That's on the old video.
Okay.
Oh, okay, I see.
What the person means the shining vibe, not exactly
Vibe.
the
Yeah, the
shot.
vibe. Shining vibe.
Yeah, I mean we used pretty much the available light in there,
Right.
because one, we were running behind on
The
the schedule,
time.
but also we were shooting on a camera that was handling low light conditions pretty well.
Yeah.
So yeah, we decided to use the light that's there. It was interesting to me actually the beginning of the hallway scene, how green it is, and then realizing that the exit sign is right there.
I color correct the whole thing green. It wasn't that green,
Okay.
but I feel like you make it more creepy to give the whole thing green tone,
Mm-hmm.
and also that green sign was there,
Yeah.
so you make totally things.
Yeah, because I mean, I see things usually in log, not colored,
Yeah.
and so, yeah, seeing that, I was kind of like, wait, how did that
How-
happen? But yeah,
how did
no,
we-
that makes sense. That
Yeah, the whole color scheme of that hallway. He didn't use any lights or anything. It was just handheld camera here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it came out really cool.
Yeah.
Okay. That was my
All
question.
right, I am gonna pull out another question. I'll go to you, Yolanda.
Okay.
Is horror a genre that you like to act in?
No.
No. Okay.
No, I don't like acting in horror genre. I know it's not. And we've actually done another project that was also kind of based on negativity. Another character, but I was talking to my sister the other day in regards to the project. She saw it. She goes, "Weren't you scared to do that, Yolanda? Because you know that whole subject matter. You talk a lot about that, and it was filmed in your apartment. And doesn't that scare you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it does kind of. Yeah, because you're dealing with energy, but." I mean, it was still fun to do. You know, it was still fun. And, you know, when we're all together in the same place, it doesn't make it scary.
Yeah.
But it's not my favorite, but it was still fun.
Yeah.
I guess that's the yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So my turn.
Yushan's like, what? You don't love it? No.
I'm gonna ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of the shot list?
Of the shot list that we created for this?
I mean, like, it's a whole thing before we shoot it and we think about it, but now after we shoot, we see the whole film. What do you think about the shot list?
There's definitely a few shots that I would add to the whole thing.
Such as?
In the alleyway, a wide of you looking to your right and talking to the spirit, or kind of like when you do the.
Oh, you mean the yard thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Actually, yes, that one is in my shotlist. It was.
Did we not get it, or?
Because the fire, the whole time in a white shot, I wasn't burning the fire. So, but like the whole time there was like this firelight on my face, so I couldn't use that shot.
Yeah.
I wanted to use a white shot because it would be more creepy to show there's nobody there. But I was like, shh.
Yeah.
I know that, but I couldn't use it, and we didn't. We were so tired, and we didn't have. We kind of like power through the whole thing. If we have time, we definitely will do another shot over that.
And I guess because I mean the day was so long that I guess I forgot the sequence, but we probably started with the wide, right? So that's why we didn't get to the burning part, because we got to the burning part kind of later on.
Yeah, we shoot it in. I think all my shots we shoot together. Yeah, we started. No, we started with my close up because we were waiting for her to dress up, and we should start with my close up, and that was already have the fires on my face.
Yeah, I mean, there you go. We had it on the shot list. We just
Yeah.
The intention was there.
The intention was there, but like filmmaking is like that. Like it's so many detail, and so many reasons you probably wouldn't get perfect like result as you intended.
Yeah, and kind of going back to shot list, it is important to have an AD who's not the director and the actor at the same time to help following the shot list and making sure that we are getting everything. Because sometimes it's easy to just go with what you think is the next shot, then realizing that you're missing something.
It's very hard because we are doing our disposition. It's hard for you to jump out to do that. I was able to do that, I think, in a secret. When we make a secret, I was kind of able to do that, but because we have like 5 days shooting time, so it was like good. But when time's a rush, it's just hard. Yeah. But also like we're shooting zero budget.
Well, I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
Okay, so she was director, writer, but she was also the actress in the project. So I want to ask you, what did you find difficult about your characters?
The character wasn't difficult because it wasn't like a complex. It wasn't. We're not shooting feature, and I have the motive like she said about losing her sister, and another character is a ghost. I mean, it's a ghost, and there's no. Her goal is just to scare, to like, what the hell are you doing? You're just mean. I gonna hunt you, right? So the motive is very direct. There's no many like layers of under like emotions or motive under there. Right. The hard part was how I transform from the director and suddenly go actor and have to be in the moment to deliver the feelings, and I think that was harder for me, and this is my first time performing in a film. I did like poetry, but that was kind of more posing, right? And not, this is more like a actual performing. I think that was the harder part, but also like it was only me, Yonathan, and you, not many people, not like a huge crew. I think that helps. I'm able to be really relaxed in front of you guys and just not think about it and get myself in the character in the moment and do it. Yeah.
So it was your first film in front? Well, besides the other one we did with the ocean stuff.
Yeah, but that one wasn't like like have dialogues or performings. That was like a poetry, kind of like deliver certain continuity emotions. Not just expressing emotions.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Anything else? Anybody else?
His turn.
My turn, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's
See what our questions are. Here we go.
So Yolanda, how did you get to act being scared of the ghost? Or Yushan?
No, okay.
Did you imagine her as an actual ghost, or what's your trick to?
Before you answer that, I'm sorry. So this is gonna combine my question, not the same question, and we're just gonna combine this question together.
Okay.
And my question is, how did you perform being scared on set?
Basically, and I've told you this before, no matter how small for me a part is, I always do a lot of writing. I do a lot of story creating of a character, a lot of subtext, because everything comes from something. I just let my imagination go and react to that. I got to say something. So when we were filming that day, it was really, really hot. And I have a small apartment, and they had to make it look nighttime. Yonathan and the crew had to put this black plastic, right? Mm-hmm. Like a really thick black plastic on my windows to make it look dark. No light, no sunlight. Well, that became an oven. So it was over 100 degrees in my apartment. So if you watch the film and my face is glistening, it's because I really am sweating. Not necessarily that I'm scared, but I was sweating. So that kind of added to the element. And I don't know. That's a great question. I just had fun with it. It's playing. It's just playing. Like, you know.
But you know what? Like, I didn't tell you this, but I told him that I wanted to ask Mike to scare you on set if you can get into your scare mode. I don't know. He wouldn't tell me because like.
We're gonna use it next time, so we can tell
No, don't tell me anything about stuff in my apartment or anything weird like that, right?
Yeah, but you were able to deliver being scared pretty well, so we didn't do anything. But I was pretty impressed because like to generally deliver an emotion being scared when you are not actually scared, that's pretty hard performing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's I would imagine being scared and like doing scenes where you have to cry a lot. That must be real. That would be even harder. Like if you have to cry on cue, I'm like put some water droplets on me. But anyways, yeah, I don't know. But thank you for that.
Natural actor.
Thank you.
You should put your reels together.
Well, I'm working on putting my reels together. I'm just gathering up, and putting them together and doing that process.
She's very talented. For any other like director out there, just. Work with her, you will see.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. So, Yonathan, in one of the scenes that we shot, he had to climb onto the kitchen counters in my kitchen, and so he was all like this to the camera, and we're thinking, oh my God, don't fall or anything like that. So, have there been any other films that you shot where you've been in like had to position yourself in really dangerous situations? Now I can think of one. But you go ahead, you answer it.
What was there one?
The one where we shot at the beach, where we were on the pier and we had...
I mean, that's different film.
Yeah, I know, but that's the one.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly...
I mean, that's...
haven't... There's always... You do find yourself in weird, awkward spaces with a camera. Not a lot of times, but... especially like filming in a bathroom, and you need to, I feel like on our other film, The Secret, I was in the corner of the shower.
Oh yeah.
So it's, I wouldn't say necessarily dangerous, or I don't see being on a kitchen counter as dangerous. Yeah, I mean what you mentioned actually kind of, you do get into situations where, I don't know if I can disclose if we're going to be talking about your other shoot in this setting. But yeah, we were in a situation on some wet rocks and waves and stuff, and that can always turn dangerous real fast. But
yeah, the wave was basically slammed on your
we were on a pier, on a big rock pier, and here come the waves this way. Yonathan's on a big... no, you were standing on a step stool, right? The step stools are like that.
Yeah, step stool on like a concrete.
On the concrete rock or the rocks on the thing, and I'm holding him. Yeah, and I'm holding him while he's shooting down like that. I'm like, oh my god, don't let the wave come, because we're, yeah, kind of crazy.
I mean, like that's very common to make films. Like not just cinematographers. Anybody can be in a really really weird positions. Like sometimes sound. Some people they can, especially in like small place, but it's an ultra wide shot. I have like some friend. One of them one time has to climb onto a cabinet.
A cabinet
On the top of, because everything down there is exposing. He has to be on top of there to get to a good sound, because the character is in the center. He really want to get really good center, right? Just right here. So he has to climb onto a cabinet and to hide under there and just booming the whole time.
The contortionists.
So Yushan, are we expecting more content coming out soon? And are all your projects more on the dark side, or is there also comedy?
Good question. I do want to make comedy, and I think right now I think me as a director at this present I want to practice more projects as much as possible before I make big movies. Right now I don't want to give myself a limit like, oh, I only make this genre, I'm only make this type of movie, because I feel like only when you become a named director you will define your style and you are actually really good at that, and then you can do that. But before, I don't want to entering the industry as only making one type of genre right now. Especially now I have like we have YouTube videos, like the channels you can showcase people your work, not like old times you don't find that much to showcase people, so you kind of go to one genre and to be really good at the genre in order to find works, jobs. So yeah, right now I will open to do all kinds of genre, and do comedy. It's very interesting because there's a lot of tactic to scare people, and there's a lot of tactic to make funny but not like a cliche. I'm also thinking about to making a kung fu movie.
A kung fu movie? Okay.
Yes, and maybe a kung fu combined with comedy. And I already have this idea, but it's kind of a feature film idea. I just gonna give a little bit hint. One character is a white guy, and he's kind of like, don't take life seriously. He's always doesn't take his work seriously. His life seriously. His life seriously. Socially super awkward, and don't speak well English, but she knows kung fu and she can fight a bear. This kind of superhero.
That's cool. Yeah. Can't wait. One day to shoot that.
Well, I have to finish the script first.
Speaking of script, perfect segue. How long did it take you to write Don't Turn Back?
A day.
One day?
An afternoon.
An afternoon.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Yeah. I mean, like for like a short film, I don't want to think too much for the script, because the goal for us is to practice and to give content out consistently. And if I put too much time, and you will always find things to change. And just once I read it and I send it to people, and after read they're like, yeah, pretty good, then I will stop for a short film right now.
And you're talking about, and I'm not just talking about dialogue, I'm talking about everything, all the shots, all the storyline, everything. That took you all one afternoon.
I mean, like a script, shots is different from like.
No, but I mean the whole story. That includes the dialogue and everything from the beginning of what we see. Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
It's like only 5 page. 5 page or 6 page. Like when we were in school and we like were taught to write features, we would demand to give to write like 30 pages a week. And
Wow.
writing feature is totally different from writing short. A lot of things you need to consider is you have to program the whole thing. There's a lot of characters and how they grow, and then after training like that, like you have to write like 30 pages a week feature. I feel like writing short film is very easy.
It's easy, yeah.
Yeah.
Compared to that, wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
People like horror. Do you, outside of writing, do you like to scare people?
I think I know that answer.
I like to mess with people a lot. That involves all kinds of emotions. Sometimes scared, sometimes freak, sometimes just laugh. I mean, I like to prank people, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think I've ever gotten pranked by you or scared.
Because every time we're working.
Yeah.
Well, one
that's true.
time she called me and she says, Yolanda, come down, I gotta show you something. I'm like, okay. So I come here to the front door and I knock on the door. She opens the door and you had the big bullet hole in your head.
In my head.
And I went, ah! I mean, you really did scare me because your makeup was really, really good. And it was so unexpected. And she goes, you like it? I'm like, oh my God. And she had white, and she was wearing this white and blood in her hair. It was just so wow. She opens the door and there she is like that.
Like out of the blue, like, hey, you want to come over? I want to show you something.
But I was like, oh, she's probably going to give me some tea or something. I don't know, some snacks or something. And then I open the door and there's that face.
After I know the ghost lady is in the building, right? And I was bummed out. I couldn't see her. And I heard she's a pretty nice lady when she was alive. And I heard other people say even she's a ghost, she's good energy, right? Like people who can actually feel energies, they think she's good. So I was like, man, I feel bad she can't come to my apartment now. Is it because I'm here? Like something like that, right? So one day I opened my door. I talked to the air.
You were talking to the air?
I was like, oh lady, it's fine. If you want to come in, just, you can come in to hang out with me. Even though I can't see you, it's fine. I hope even now you're dad, but I hope you're doing well. I'm just talking to the air. And then I heard the neighbor upstairs, he's walking down, look at me like,
what is this lady doing?
Yeah. He probably heard like this building's haunted. He probably thought I'm able to see a ghost, and he's like, is she talking to a ghost?
Yeah.
And then look at him, I was like, and then I closed my door.
Oh my gosh. Well, I hope she didn't come in after that.
I think she's gone. I don't know. People say they never see her again after her husband passed away.
Yeah.
Anyways, more questions?
It's
So
your
now
turn.
my turn. Okay. Do you think it's like convenient for you to introduce the lighting plan? Sim 4, lighting plan.
Alright, so going into the shoot, I feel like one of the harder parts shooting night is actually achieving a night look. And so for me, I mean, I've done several shoots where we're shooting nighttime, but I always am kind of like, is it gonna read as night? And it's always kind of very tricky to sell that. You can see in the scene 4 where Yolanda is all of a sudden the power drops and her lights go off and then her laptop goes off. It's basically you're stripping light and you have to make it look realistic, but still you can be shooting in complete darkness. You still need light to shoot. So doing those things is kind of hard because you need to kind of think a step ahead. This was the second short film that I was using mainly aperture MCs, which is a tiny light that is
Small, very
this
small.
big.
Magnetic ones,
Some people like to call them like a soap light because it's literally the size of a soap. They have good output, so when Yolanda is walking out of the kitchen, you can see a glow behind the planter, and so that's those lights. So you can hide them various places. I've used a lot of those. We had a total of 10 or 11 of them. And so combining all of them together, you can, and when I say together, it's not like we will be stacking them and making bigger grid, but it's just putting accents and having some overhead on a C-stand. We also used a bigger light source, which is a source for Lico.
A Joker?
A Joker. So that one we would gel in blues to give it the night look.
Yeah.
And that one we used mainly to fill the atmosphere of the room, because we would bounce it over the ceiling, kind of behind Yolanda usually, to give her a little backlight edge. And then the MC lights, which I don't know, we probably don't have too many behind the scenes pictures, but if you do see behind the scenes pictures, you'll see just tiny lights around the place that we were moving, and you can change the intensity and stuff. And plus Yolanda was saying that we were blacking out all the windows, so we actually did black out most of them and left a little opening where we used daylight that was coming in a little bit, which we again put a blue gel on the window, so it feels like nighttime moonlight. Sometimes with minimal lighting you can achieve a lot, and I feel like we did that. We achieved quite a bit with a lot of small lights, and yeah, I was happy how it turned out.
One thing I'll say, like something I only realized when I edit the film is, in my mind I was thinking of, I told him horror movies, the atmosphere always scare me out, Asian horror movies, not like Western. And I was thinking about why is that. When I analyze, it's mostly lighting. Western horror movies, they light perfectly, barely has like black area, right? Even like there's really dark, but there's like light. It kind of become like gray, then completely black. But when you watch, especially Japanese horrors, they leave places black. And that make it, for me that's so creepy, because you don't know what's in there. You don't say things. When you don't say, you get more scared. So the lighting in Asian horror is more scary for me. However, I realized we couldn't achieve that because the whole wall is white.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was imagined to have those really like negative space, but they are like very dark. And then I look at that, I was like, oh yeah, that's why people put more money in film, so they can such as paint the wall different color to absorb more of the light. That's just something we couldn't do for the location we have. Yeah, but that's something I learned. Next time if I want to make this kind of feeling, I would know, yeah, the wall is very key. When I do like color corrections, I want to tone down the wall, right? I want to make it darker, but it's impossible, because if I do that, she will look completely like
she'll go down with the wall.
Disappear to the wall. And I'll just to piggyback on your comment and your comments on that. Obviously, I'm not the technical person with that, and just watching Yonathan and Yushan when they figure out lighting and colors, and they're looking at this, and I'm like, what? It is so complex. I mean, to me, it is that I don't know how to. But using those lights, what are those? The soap lights? I mean, it was amazing how they knew how to put them and how it created such an ambiance. And when you watch it, you're like, oh, God, how cool that they put that there, and look at the light it created, look at the mood it created for the scene. And then in this particular one, when because it had to be dark, something that you said, you can't shoot in dark like light, you won't be able to see it. But it gave that blue hue that made it seem like, okay, it's really dark. But yeah, it's really cool to watch them do put all their technical knowledge at work to create something. I mean, if you don't know any of it, you can't really appreciate the work that's put in to set up a shot, to set up the lights, to do all that, because that's another beast, you know, to be able to know how to do that and create that with light.
Yeah, because for someone who doesn't really know too much about lighting or just like film, they would think that if you're shooting a night scene, you just turn the lights off.
Oh God!
But no,
You can't say anything.
Yeah, there's a lot of lighting going into night. Filming.
Yeah.
It's harder. It's definitely harder, especially like I feel after I shoot this. Now I'm watching some of the old Hollywood movies. I kind of get why they said a thing like this, such as there's this movie, I don't remember how it called. This kid come to Los Angeles and he got bullied by his peers. Kids got always beat up, but he met like a Japanese guy who is like by this like Japanese like a kung fu or something.
Yeah.
And so there's a scene. He was on the beach with the teenagers there, right? And there's so many motorcycles coming. And I was thinking about why they use a motorcycle. I was like, oh, for the light, because why they need to give a motif to light the whole scene. Because you know, like they can't just put a light on the beach. It doesn't make sense, right? There's no light on the beach.
Okay, yeah.
But if there's some people like riding motorcycle all around, that makes sense.
Then
now you can light the
Then
scene.
you have to have the light. You have to use light to light them. Oh, I see what you're saying.
That's
Yeah.
smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Really cool. I have a question for you. Because this story comes from your culture,
Yes.
right? So growing up, is this something that you were like? Is this something that you grew up on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's freaking scary. Like in July, you know, like lunar calendar, July is a ghost month, and the old people would tell us don't go out at night in this month, and don't turn back when people call you.
So it's like an active. So like, it is something that is like normal. Like you growing up, you would be basically told this because it is a thing.
Yeah, I've been told this, and every July on the lunar calendar, usually it's like October or September. It's scary. Yeah.
That's part of your culture that you've grown up with all that. Yeah.
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 But again, I never saw a ghost with my eye
Okay.
in my life.
And what about you, Yonathan? Is there anything in your culture that has something similar that they celebrate, something like that?
They have. There's one thing that I feel is kind of weird. They burn witches in the spring.
They burn witches, or like witch dolls or something.
By the
dolls.
way,
Okay.
just let people know, Yonathan is from Czech.
Yeah.
Wait, sorry, you say that again.
Yeah,
Witch doll?
Yeah. I mean, I was just telling someone about this, and I have to kind of like refresh my memory why they do that. But yeah, it's a whole thing in the spring. People, I think it's in the spring. Maybe it's in the fall. But yeah, they basically, everyone kind of like gathers together and they have a big bonfire and there's like a witch on it.
So for what? For like harvest or for?
I think you might be right. I think it has to do something with harvest or something. But again, I have to do my research.
Good luck. How much you score? Don't turn back.
Ooh. Score it?
Yep.
As in what? As a storyline? As a final product? As
Final
a
product.
process? Oh, I give it a 10/10. Why not?
Okay.
Yeah.
How about you?
I would say I'm always critical of. I critique my work or what I work on. I would say 8 out of 10.
Oh, why 8?
That's very high, dude.
Why 8?
Are you going lower?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh God, then I'm all really happy.
I didn't want to go too low, but no, I'm. I'm definitely not less than 5, but I want to say maybe 7.5.
Okay.
Oh, now you made me think of something. So go ahead.
All right. So we I mean, we do these shoots because we want to improve.
Yeah.
And I feel like we are improving with every shoot. There's definitely always a downside of having a small crew and not having people to fill certain positions like sound and yeah, I want to say that sound is one of our weaker spots. There's definitely, and I mean, I'll take that on me because we were talking about comments on the first edit, and I was traveling and working, and so I didn't get to put down my notes to give them to you. But there were still a few things that I wanted to add for it to have it higher ranking than what I would say right now. But I mean, that's again, like, we're in the process of working and trying to do our best, and it's step by step, and I'll still probably, I will give you the notes because that way at least we are aware of what still the weakness. But yeah, it's just kind of like,
and that's what you just mentioned, sound design. I think that's been one of our toughest things in other projects, and I know we did ADR after this, and I think the ADR came out pretty good actually. And also just like the footstep thing, when we were going down the hallway, you could kind of tell. But again, that's probably really hard to do fully. So, but that was really it. That part wasn't like a 10/10. That was, you could tell that.
If you want a really enjoyable watching movie experience, sound is actually more important than the image, because your eyes can forgive some of, like, such as like a little bit slightly light is not good, slightly out of focus, but your ear couldn't forgive about bad sound.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do silent films until we find
I mean, those
We'll go back to 1920s. We're just gonna focus on silence.
I want to say something. You guys ask me this question.
What did we miss? What did we miss?
Why you guys not ask me? And now I
Oh no, what did we miss?
Can you do pasta? I was waiting for you guys, like, how you get through editing.
Oh yeah. Hey Yushan, how do you get through the long process of editing a project?
Yeah, I don't really like editing. But in order for me to be able to edit, I need